Well, good evening, everybody out there in internet land. Happy Tuesday and happy, what is it? 48 hours till gobble gobble day. My name is Brian Trippett. I am the Front Porch Conservative, and welcome to Front Porch Brunch, that wonderful little thing we do here on what did I say? Front Porch Brunch? The Newsroom. Jeez, I'm not even sure what day it is, apparently. Welcome to the Newsroom, this fun little thing we do through the week where we get together, we check out the news, we give our views, and we try to make sense out of this crazy thing that we call life. In this case, we are a couple of days away from one of our favorite holidays throughout the year, Thanksgiving. My name is Brian Trippett. I am the Front Porch Conservative. I am sometimes known as the fine fella in the fedora. Sometimes I'm known as the beau in the chapeau. Sometimes called the common man with common sense. But in this moment, as always, I am above all else your host. We are on Rumble, we are on Twitter, and we are on that quaint little alternative social media platform known as YouTube. So please do me some favors, subscribe to the channel if you're not a subscriber already. And while you're at it, hit the bell for notifications. Leave a thumbs up tonight. We would really appreciate that. Leave a comment in chat and share the link around with your friends. All right, let us see who is here. Really? Really? You got to... Man, you are a demanding bunch. Or you're demanding anyway. TBA, oh my goodness. I make one faux pas, and you just start in with me. Leave, eh? Well, good evening, Miss Brenda. Glad to have you here with us. Mwah. Glad to have a short time. Yeah, I gotta get to the grocery store, get my hands on some eggs for Thursday. I got work to do, I tell you what. Aw, thank you, Gypsy. Good to have you here with us tonight, darling. Mwah. Good to see you. Good to see you. Yeah, everybody's kind of settling in, so we'll be you're ahead of the tide rolling out. Yeah. Will you stop it? The eggs are not gone yet. If nothing else, I know some people with some chickens. Let's just put it that way. Although funny looking chickens, but anyway. No, we're all right. We're all good. We're glad you guys are here tonight. We're gonna do a very casual newsroom tonight. Just a few news items to go over, get you guys' reaction to them, see what you guys think. Hello, WWG1. Deviled egg dude, get cracking. See what I did there? Folks, he's here all week. Try the veal and don't forget to tip your waitresses and bartenders. I tell you what. Oh my goodness. Yes, indeed. Deviled eggs for everyone. There you go. One ostrich egg should be fine for deviled eggs. Let me guess. You and WWG1 are a comedy duo, and you're working the circuit this week. Is that it? Yeah. Veal. I've never tried that on Thanksgiving, my dear. That sounds fairly interesting. Oh my goodness. Now, no matter where you are tonight, be it on Rumble, be it on YouTube, be it wherever, do not be afraid to leave a comment. We would love to hear from you. Go ahead and pipe up there and chat. Some of y'all are shy, and some of y'all can't do it because of how you're watching, but we would still love it if you were chiming in on this pre-Thanksgiving edition of the Newsroom. Glad to have you guys here tonight. We've got memes, we got a few news stories, and we have a special reading, which is something of a tradition here on this channel. And we'll get to that a little bit later in the live stream. Well, now that's a good question. That's a real good question. And funny you should ask that. That's one of the topics we've got on the agenda for the evening, which we will get to momentarily. Oh, yeah, it's a good one. That's a good one. See, that's why this audience is the best on the internet. You guys know more about what's going on than most people do, and thank God for it, because you make my job really easy. Except, of course, for a couple of individuals over on Rumble who tend to complain frequently about how things go. I'm just saying, I still love you two. It's okay. Excuse me while I take a sip. Found some hot chocolate mix in the cupboard, and I thought it was a wonderful idea for the evening. All right. We have some memes to go through, as we are wont to do. Um, yeah. Oh, is that what it is? Was that what it is? We have to stay ahead of me, huh? Yeah, they are indeed the Rumble chaos makers. There's no doubt about that. We're going to, yeah, exactly. I'm not saying, but I'm just saying. No, there's no schnapps in the hot chocolate. It's just milk and hot chocolate mix. My goodness. Anyway, the theme for this set of memes is things that we should and ought to be thankful for. Now, I know what happens, and I can be just as guilty of it as anybody else. We come up to this week of the year, and we're already thinking about Christmas. We're already thinking about, can we go shopping? Who are we buying for? What are we buying them? All kinds of stuff like that. So I get it. But we really need to stop and take some time to be thankful. I mean, seriously, there's a lot of things that we could be thankful for. I mean, for example, for those of you out there who are pet owners, be it a dog or be it a cat, I mean, I'm very sure that you're thankful for your pet. I mean, they bring you all kinds of joy in life. The things they do, the funny little expressions on their face. So let's start off with that. Let us be thankful for how our pets brighten up our lives. I mean, anytime we can look at a pet and they have this kind of expression, they've got to be feeling joy. And hopefully in doing so, that brings you joy. So, if you ever see your cat get this kind of expression on its face, just know that he or she is truly, truly happy. I don't know what they've looked at to make them happy, but apparently they're very, very happy. So there you go, folks. Be thankful for your pets. Or as Sean from Third Railify would say, thankful for D's nuts. Oh, for God. I love you Canadians. I genuinely do. I really, really love you guys. Ah, well, hey, but look at but let us be thankful that we have a Brussels sprout and a turkey leg. It could be worse. We could be eating broccoli with our turkey. Yeah. Anyway, let us be thankful for illusions. Let us be thankful for sometimes just not seeing things how they really are. I mean, imagine if you saw things as they really are, and then you came to the realization that truly, indeed, everything is fake and gay. So be happy for illusions. You know, be happy. You don't want to wake up one day and realize, yep, it's fake and it's gay. There you go. So be happy with your illusions. Be happy indeed. Salty's in the house. What have you done, boy? What have you done? Oh, I got to check this out. A link in the DMs for Brian. Okay. All right. Hang on a minute. Salty's weighing in. Oh my gosh. What's that crazy man done now? Hold on. Uh-oh. Ooh. Uh-oh. Ooh. Salty, does this have to do with um the Ballad Valley? Without giving it away, does this have to do with the Bala Valley? Just asking. So I just want to make sure about this before I hang on a minute. Or this might be something else entirely. Oh, Salty. No, I can't. No, now I know what meme you're referring to. I cannot do this. No, I know. No, just okay, folks. This is just so wrong in so many different ways. Salty, I can't believe you did this. Well, let me just make sure of something here. Yeah. Okay. All right. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, before I put this up here, uh, Salty Salty has found a meme that is wholly inappropriate, uh, provocative in a sexual nature, and just plain it is Thanksgiving related. Now, I'm warning you now. I'm going to show this in a count of 5. So if you don't want to see this, if you do not want to see this, well, I don't know that I'd call it lewd and lascivious, but we'll just say it is wholly inappropriate. Funny, but wholly inappropriate. All right. We're going to show it in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. If you do not wish to see this, turn away from your monitor. Salty, you are a bad man. That's all I'm saying. You are a bad, bad man. Okay? I don't know where you found this. You're just wrong, but I love you. You're just wrong. And I will say one more thing. I didn't know she was that limber. My gosh, that's a child's pose for yoga. That's just incredible. Anyway, Salty, you're a bad man. That's all I'm saying. All right. All right. Back to our themes for the evening. Things that we are. Oh, really? Really? So that was not well. Well, look, every audience and every live stream is a little bit different. I do try to be, appropriate as much as possible. Uh, and by the way, go check out Sean from Third Railify. He is a good dude. Live streams Monday through Friday, usually at 10 o'clock Eastern, and the dude puts on a show. Check him out. Oh my goodness. And also something else to be thankful for. Something else to be thankful for. Be thankful for bravery. Be thankful for be thankful for the willingness to stand up for your convictions. I mean, for example, take the people in take the LGBTQ community, for example. I mean, honestly, imagine the bravery that it takes to change your pronouns like this guy did. So yes, be thankful that you have bravery to stand up for your convictions. It was not easy for this guy, but he found a way. So there you go. Well, hello, you son of a gun. You old so-and-so. You old fellow. I shouldn't say old fellow. That's not exactly nice. Hello, Mr. Otten. From the greater Cincinnati area, we raise a glass in your general direction. Hey, indeed. And happy Thanksgiving to you and lovely Miss Peggy. Glad to have you all in the house tonight. Well, there you go. Thankful for the ultimate equalizer. There you go. Indeed. Indeed. All right. What else do we have to be thankful for? Here's one for you. Be thankful for the good things yet to come. Seriously. I mean, I'm not saying that every day is wine and roses, but you know what? Things are okay, but tomorrow they could be better. Let's be thankful for the good that is coming. I mean, for example, Imagine if you're the Democrats. Donald Trump hasn't even got to the good stuff yet. Of course, these days I can make an argument he needs to start putting out some good stuff, but but be thankful for the good in your life and be thankful for the good that is yet to come. Just saying. Ah, 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 ah. Also, another thing to be thankful for, which I don't think a lot of us take into account, we need to be thankful for the patience that we have, be it in small amounts or people who have large amounts of patience. Okay. Um, well, now, you know what? And this is something to be thankful for too, you know, because daggone it, stovetop stuffing is expensive at the grocery stores these days. And if you've got a box of stuffing that's about 4 or 5 years old, you have a rarefied delicacy, sir. So a glass in your general direction. But be thankful that you have patience. I mean, especially come Friday morning at 6 a.m. I mean, honestly, you have to have a lot of patience to hold out for these kind of deals. I mean, seriously. I mean, price is that good. Man, how can you hold back? But in order to be able to do so, you have to have a lot of patience. That's all I'm saying. That's all I am saying. My goodness, indeed. Yep. And let me tell you something, bargain shopping this year is going to be very important for Christmas. So hold out for the best deals, be as patient as possible, and be thankful that you have been blessed with that trait. Just saying. Another thing to be thankful for, be thankful for the talents that you have and be thankful that you're able to bring them to the workplace, to the job that you have, such that you are a benefit to the company you work for. I mean, we don't think about it a lot, but seriously, everybody in this audience, and not just in this audience, but I mean in life, are blessed with all kinds of talents. Some of them, are more apparent than others. Some of them, uh, lead to greater productivity than others. But everybody is blessed with talent, and that talent you have shows up a lot in your place of work. You could, on the other hand, be like these poor guys who got their talent from India. Look what happened to them. Well, apparently they went with human talent that wasn't all that talented. Oh, you are not. Stop that. Stop that, sir. You are not. Oh my goodness. You, sir, you need to be more positive about yourself. Come on, Sean. I've seen your live stream. You're very good at what you do, sir. But yeah, you could be like these guys, invested in the wrong talent, and boy, did they pay for it. So, be thankful for the talent that you have and the job where you work. Another thing to be thankful for is good eyesight. I mean, look, in all seriousness, a lot of us, we take our senses for granted. The ability to hear, the ability to smell, the ability to touch, um, the sensation of taste, but also our eyesight. So be thankful for everything that you're able to see, because you could be one of those individuals that's out and about somewhere and you miss, realizing that this girl's holding a shopping bag. And it might even cost you missing the bus. So just saying, folks, just saying. One moment, please. Ah, okay. Tell you what, Matty Bracco, how you doing, brother? Haven't seen you in a long time. Glad you're here tonight. Glad you are here tonight, sir. Well, now this is true. This is absolutely true. Very true. Hello, Lana. Hey, good looking. Thankful for my family, my job, no matter how much it frustrates me in this community. Y'all are smart and fun. Love spending time with you on the virtual front porch. Well, thank you, darling. We love you too, and we're glad you're here. Absolutely glad you're here. Let's see. What else do we have to be thankful for? Oh, goodness. Goodness me. Another thing to be thankful for. Good health in general. And in that same vein, be thankful for the absence of constipation. Now, you wonder what I refer to, but may I respectfully point out the following. In America, rifles of any kind killed 297 people last year. Constipation killed over 2,000. I think you see where I'm going here. Be very thankful, ladies and gentlemen. Very thankful indeed that you are not full of it, because it could kill you. I'm not saying it will. I'm just saying it is possible. I mean, look, if the odds of dying from constipation are 10 times greater than getting killed by a rifle, then you know what? I say be thankful for the absence of constipation. I agree with that. I agree completely with that, Next Pharaoh. And welcome into the live stream, my friend. Glad to have you here with us tonight. Glad to have you here with us. So yes, be thankful, my friends, for the absence of constipation. Just saying. All right, what else do we have to be thankful for? You know what? We should be thankful for food in general. Look, I mean, for all our troubles in terms of food prices and everything else, we do have the ability to get our hands on food. Now, do we always make the best food choices doing it? No, not necessarily. And I am living proof of that, by the way. But we do have the ability to get our hands on food. However, sometimes we are presented with choices that are not good for us. I mean, for example, you could be in this situation. Somebody's trying to sell you a pulled pork sandwich, and no matter how hard they try, they just can't get you to bite off on it. So, some situations are better than others. What can I tell you? So be thankful for the food choices that you have and that you can find what you're looking for. Like I say, you could be like these poor guys. All right. What else do we have to be thankful for? Yes. Be thankful for reliable transportation. I mean, we have buses, we have public transportation, we have taxi cabs, we have Ubers, we have Lyfts, we have ferries, we have everything. And let me tell you something. More often than not, we take our transportation for granted. However, you could be like this poor guy. He could be without any way to get around, and apparently such was the case. Poor old Hunter. Man, I guess that boat was extremely valuable to him. Just saying. So yes, be thankful for the transportation that you have that gets you from one place to another. No, we'll let that. We're going to let that one go. We're going to let that one go. All right. As always, much thanks to WWG1. Much thanks to TBA. Much thanks to Salty. Much thanks to everyone who contributes memes to this fine live stream. They always help us laugh. They always give us a chuckle in one form or another. And as always, you see this right down here. This is my Twitter handle. If you have a meme or even a story idea, pass it along. The host reserves the right to use or not use what you present, but more often than not, it finds its way up on the screen. So if you got something you think is interesting, there's my link down there. Tag me in it, and let's see if we can get it up here for your amusement and ours. All right. A Thanksgiving edition of the Newsroom. What are we going to talk about tonight? Well, in that vein, there was one more thing that we ought to be thankful for. And I'm not trying to be hokey with this. I'm doing this to set up something else. We need to be thankful for the rights that we have enshrined in our Constitution and more particularly our Bill of Rights. Okay. Because in places like Great Britain, rights that have been in place for over 8 centuries now are vanishing. You wonder what I'm talking about? Check out this story from the UK Independent. This, I'm not going to lie, I heard about this today and I could not believe it, but this absolutely breaks my heart. Headline: Jury trials set to be scrapped except for the most serious of crimes. Move comes as number 10 Downing Street is yet to respond to recommendations on how to reform the court system. Story by Anahita Hussainpour. We have the following. Dateline London. The government is considering scrapping jury trials except in the most serious cases, according to reports. Justice Secretary David Lammy has reportedly proposed a significant overhaul of the UK's court system, suggesting that jury trials could be limited to offenses such as rape, murder, and manslaughter. In a memo seen by The Times, Mr. Lammy, who also serves as Deputy Prime Minister, asserted there was no right to jury trials in the UK and that such changes would not compromise a suspect's rights. Oh, now wait, whoa, wait a minute. Hold on now. There is no right to jury trials. That's interesting. No right to jury trials. Interesting. Very interesting indeed. Oh my. Hold on one moment, folks. I'm looking for something. No right to a jury trial. Huh. Yeah. I got a little bit of a problem, Mr. David Lammy's theory. And there's a reason for that. He says there's no right to a trial by jury, except that in the Magna Carta, Clause 39, no free man could be imprisoned, quote, except by the lawful judgment of his peers or by the law of the land. This clause was intended to prevent the king from arbitrarily imprisoning barons without a fair trial by their social equals, reflecting a long-standing English customs where individuals were judged by those of similar status. Oh my goodness! Thank you for the super sticker, my dear. Oh, and by the way, this reminds me of something. Zippy, if you are in the audience tonight, I owe you an apology. I genuinely do. And let me explain why. Zippy was gracious enough to give me a Rumble rant, and I did not realize it until after the live stream was over. So, Zippy, if you're listening to this later on, first of all, my apologies to you. And second of all, my friend, thank you ever so much for the Rumble rant during the last live stream. It was very gracious of you, and I just didn't see it. My apologies indeed. But thank you very much for this, dear. It's very sweet of you. I genuinely appreciate it. Happy Thanksgiving, my dear. Yeah, going back to what we were looking at a second ago, let me put this back up here again. Clause 39 of the Magna Carta says no free man can be imprisoned except, quote, except by the lawful judgment of his peers or by the law of the land. Yet we've got David Lammy telling the citizens of Great Britain that there's no right to jury trials in the UK and that such a change would not compromise a suspect's rights. Wow. Something that has been a part of English jurisprudence. Let's see, the Magna Carta was signed in 1215. So you're talking over 8 centuries of British common law. And David Lammy is proposing, as part of reforming the judicial system in the UK, to scrap trial by jury, except in cases of rape, murder, or manslaughter. Unbelievable. That's what he's proposing. Other than murder, manslaughter, or rape, you will never see a jury trial in Great Britain if he gets his way about it, and the Parliament of Great Britain gets their way about it. Just unbelievable. Yeah, that's where they're headed, my friend. That is where they're headed. Yeah, and what galls me is he sits there and says there's no right to trial by jury. Just pray for Great Britain, folks. That's all I can tell you. Pray for Great Britain. Yeah, this is true. This is true. Very sad. So look, for all the flaws of the American system of governance, or maybe not flaws, for all the problems we currently have with American politics and the American judicial system, be glad that somewhere back a long time ago, we had the good sense to put it down in writing what rights you have and what rights you don't. Because you could be like the British that are about to lose a right that's been theirs for over 8 centuries. Man. Unbelievable. Now, Gypsy mentioned something a little bit earlier, and I don't quite know what to make of this. She had mentioned that she'd heard something that related to Kash Patel. Well, what she heard was the following. This is a story out of MSNBC, or MS Now, as they call themselves. Headline: Trump weighing the ouster of Kash Patel, according to sources. Patel has come under scrutiny for his stewardship of Bureau resources, including his girlfriend's security detail and the use of a government jet. Article by Carol Lenning, Laura Barron Lopez, and Ken Delalian. We have the following. Dateline, Washington, D.C. President Donald Trump is considering removing Kash Patel as FBI director in the coming months, as he and his top aides have grown increasingly frustrated by the unflattering headlines Patel has recently generated, according to 3 people with knowledge of the situation who requested to in order to speak freely. Patel has come under scrutiny for his stewardship of Bureau resources, including his girlfriend's security detail and use of a government jet, and for his squabbles with other Trump loyalists. Trump and White House aides have confided to allies that the president is eyeing removing Patel and is considering top FBI official Andrew Bailey as the Bureau's new director, according to the three people. Patel is described as being on thin ice, and his ouster appears closer than ever, with Bailey as the logical replacement. Two of the sources with knowledge of the situation said, though Trump could change his mind in the weeks to come. White House spokeswoman Abigail Jackson responded to MS Now saying, quote, President Trump has assembled the most talented and impressive administration in history, and they are doing an excellent job carrying out the president's agenda. Okay. FBI Director Patel is a critical member of the president's team, and he's working tirelessly to restore the integrity of the FBI. All right, let's talk about this. Now, the White House is obviously denying this, and not only is Abigail Jackson, this White House spokeswoman, Caroline Leavitt was, I guess, asked about this today, and she's like, no truth to it, nothing at all. Matter of fact, let me find her post on Twitter real fast. 1 second, please. Yeah, here it is. Here it is. Pop this up on screen. Caroline Leavitt says this story is completely made up. In fact, when the fake news was published, I was in the Oval Office where President Trump was meeting with his law enforcement team, including FBI Director Kash Patel. I read the headline to the president, and he laughed, and he said, what? That's totally false. Come on, Kash. Let's take a picture to show them that we're doing a great job. Do not believe the fake news. Folks, I would not be shocked at all to find out that Kash Patel gets fired. Or more to the point, he resigns, which is the polite way in Washington to fire somebody. Look, Kash Patel is a congressional hearing waiting to happen. And by that, I mean this. And by the way, this thought is not original to me, but I wholeheartedly concur. Kash Patel is flying around on the FBI jet so he can go see his girlfriend in concert. Kash Patel has a security detail for his girlfriend, which according to reports is totally illegal. Kash Patel's doing all kinds of stuff that if the Democrats get control of Congress next year, which frankly I think they will, don't worry. He will be in front of a congressional hearing. Who knows? He might even get impeached. Because remember, he's presidential appointee. So, look, Trump's denying it. Caroline Leavitt's denying it. Do not be shocked at all if Kash Patel goes bye-bye. And frankly, he needs to. I don't know if Andrew Bailey would be the best person to head up the FBI. Frankly, I'd rather have him as Attorney General. But if you're not going to give Andrew Bailey the Attorney General spot, okay, put him at the head of FBI. And maybe this allows Dan Bongino to stay on a little bit longer. I don't know. I mean, we shall see. We shall see. But yeah, I thought I'd pass along that little piece of news to you guys. Matter of fact, if you want to digest this, give me a second. I will drop this in. Yeah, aren't they though, Zippy? And how are you doing tonight, my friend? By the way, I was telling everybody a little earlier. Yeah, aren't they though, Zippy? And how you need to apologize to you, sir. You dropped me a Rumble rant in the last live stream. I just didn't see it. So that's totally on me. I apologize to you. Otherwise, I would have, acknowledged it then, but I was told after the fact. So, my apologies to you, and thank you, by the way, for that Rumble rant. Greatly appreciated. But here's the link to that story at MS Now. I'm dropping it on the Rumble side, and I'm going to drop it on the YouTube side. You guys might want to take a look at it and let me know what you guys think. All right. Some other real quick news items. Did you guys see the pardoning of the turkey today? Um, President Trump engaged in a very old White House tradition in that a president pardons a turkey. And by the way, in case you're wondering, after the pardon, a lawsuit was filed in the D.C. federal court, and the judge was asked to issue a temporary injunction blocking the pardon. No, I'm just kidding. But the way things are going so far, you wouldn't be shocked. But if you didn't see the pardoning of the turkey, it went a little something like this. Let me know if the sound is good on this. Here we go.
Are you ready? Gobble. I just want to tell you this very important. You are hereby unconditionally pardoned. That's nice. I wouldn't want to harm this beautiful bird. That's good. Thank you very much.
So yes, the tradition continues. But by the way, Gobble wasn't the only turkey to escape. As a matter of fact, folks, in Washington, D.C., a lot of turkeys apparently are looking to get out, in spite of Donald Trump's assertion that the Republican Party has never been as united as it is right now. I saw this from a couple of days ago, and I went, "You've got to be kidding me. You have absolutely got to be kidding me." Other than Rand Paul Jr., Massian, Marjorie Taylor Brown, and a couple other lowlifes, other than the fact that they want the election-threatening filibuster terminated, and some don't, there's a great spirit and cohesion. Plus, the Republican Party is much bigger than it was when I announced in 2015 or ever was before. Millions more members. Now we have the strongest border ever, biggest tax cuts, best economy, highest stock market, so much more, but the best is yet to come. Vote Republican. I saw that and I went, "You got to be kidding me." Well, Marjorie Taylor Greene may have set something in motion, or maybe it's better said like this. She may have allowed the whistle to blow and let off the pressure on everybody doing it. Here's what I'm talking about. Here's a post on Twitter from Jake Sherman of Punchbowl News. Let me enlarge this so you guys can read a little bit better. There we go. Now we're talking. From Jake Sherman, a few other GOP members messaged us, talking about he and the staff at Punchbowl News, over the weekend saying that they too are considering retiring in the middle of the term. Here's one particularly exercised senior House Republican. Quote, "This entire White House team has treated all members like garbage. All. And Mike Johnson has let it happen because he wanted it to happen. That is the sentiment of nearly all. Appropriators, authorizers, hawks, doves, rank and file. The arrogance of this White House team is off-putting to members who are run roughshod and threatened. They don't even allow us little wins like announcing small grants or even responding from agencies. Not even the high profile, the regular rank and file random members are more upset than ever. Members know they are going to be in the minority after the midterms. More explosive early resignations are coming. It's a tinderbox. Morale has never been lower. Mike Johnson will be stripped of his gavel, and they will lose the majority before this term is out." Now, I have heard it said, and if somebody knows better about this than I do, pop the comment in chat. But I have heard it said that never in the history of the House has the gavel changed hands because of early retirements, such that the majority party became the minority party. Okay? It's never happened before. I keep thinking in my mind that there is one other occasion in history, American history, where the House switched control during the session. But I could be wrong about that. But for some reason, it's gnawing at me like this is not the first time it would have ever happened, if it does. I mean, what they're telling Jake Sherman at Punchbowl News might be completely bogus, but I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, look, for all of the arrogance and do-nothingness that is the American U.S. House of Representatives, they are the people's elected body. And if the relationship between the White House, particularly their legislative liaison office, and the folks on Capitol Hill, is that toxic, I wouldn't be surprised if there were a few more retirements. As a matter of fact, let me look at something real fast. And here's the scary part. One moment, please. Yeah. Take a look at this. There are 219 Republicans currently in the House. 3 seats are vacant due to the deaths of 2 Democrats, Representative Raul Grivaglia and Sylvester Turner, and the resignation of Mark Green. It would not take much. It would not take much at all to see the majority shift from the Republicans to the Democrats before we get to next November's election. It really wouldn't. It would not take much at all. So just keep your eyes open, folks. This could get real interesting real quick. So there is that. Okay. What time is it right now? 10 minutes to 8. Okay. A few other stories I'd like to go over with you guys. But before we do, let me do a real quick commercial. For everybody hanging out on Rumble and on YouTube and on Twitter, thank you for being here, especially given how close we are to Thanksgiving. I genuinely do appreciate it. My name is Brian Trippett, and I'm the Front Porch Conservative. This live stream is known as the Newsroom. We get together Tuesday and Thursday nights, talk about the news, let everybody blow off a little steam, have some fun, talk to each other, and just try to make sense out of all the headlines that we see. If you like this sort of thing, why don't you go ahead and subscribe to my channel on YouTube and Rumble? And while you're at it, hit the bell for notifications. That way you're always aware when a new live stream or a new video is coming out. For this evening's purposes, however, you can also help me out by hitting the thumbs up, leaving a comment in chat, and maybe share the link around with your friends. Let's see if we can get a few more people in here and make it a really good party. All right. Did you guys happen to see the following video? Now, I'm showing you this now so you don't see it on Thursday and it ruins your appetite. But folks, check this out.
I'm grateful that the court ended the case against me, which was a prosecution based on malevolence and incompetence, and a reflection of what the Department of Justice has become under Donald Trump, which is heartbreaking. But I was also inspired by the example of the career people who refused to be part of this travesty. It cost some of them their jobs, which is painful, but it preserved their integrity, which is beyond price.
That's right, ladies and gentlemen. For right now, he skates free. Yeah, an animated mugshot. You got that right. Yeah, he did allow it under Biden, the weaponization of the Justice Department. Absolutely, absolutely, Zippy. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, they've gone free. Unbelievable. Now, good news is, and here's a story from thehill.com. Letitia James's lawsuit, or not lawsuit, but indictment, you can probably bring back real easy. Statute of limitations not falling out on that one. The one on Comey, that gets a little bit difficult. But there is a suggested path of how to fix the problem. And this is from Robert Barnes. Include Comey's actions in the Southern District of Florida case, make it part of the overall conspiracy, and get past the Statute of Limitations Act that's meant to hide by acts meant to hide the perjury within the statute of limitations. So Barnes is of the opinion that this thing with Comey's not over yet. It's still possible they could wind up going to trial. I'm sorry, dear. I did not mean to do that. My apologies. That is I should have given you a warning first. So that one's on me. But yeah. As it stands right now, Comey and Letitia James are out from under their indictments. Yep. Gotta love this Justice Department. That's what I'm telling you. All right. I said this is going to be a relaxed, chill kind of a live stream tonight because I know you guys have got things to do to get ready for your family, your friends, preparations to make, cooking, cleaning up the house, that sort of thing. I would like to end tonight with the renewing of a tradition that I've done a few times here on the live stream. And it's a reading from one of the books written by the legendary Rush Limbaugh. The book is called See, I Told You So. In this book, there's a chapter called Dead White Men, or What the History Books Don't Tell You. And it chronicles the story of the first Thanksgiving. And if you guys don't mind, I'd like to do a reading from said chapter, thinking it was kind of appropriate for the occasion. The first Thanksgiving, and it goes a little something like this. The story of the Pilgrims begins in the early part of the 17th century. That's the 1600s for you folks that live in Rio Linda. The Church of England under James I was persecuting anyone and everyone who did not recognize its absolute civil and spiritual authority. Those who challenged ecclesiastical authority and those who believed strongly in the freedom of worship were hunted down, imprisoned, and sometimes executed for their beliefs. A group of separatists first fled to Holland and established a community. After 11 years, about 40 of them agreed to make a perilous journey to the New World, where they would certainly face hardships, but could live and worship God according to the dictates of their own consciences. On August 1st, 1620, the Mayflower set sail. It carried a total of 102 passengers, including 40 pilgrims led by William Bradford. On the journey, Bradford set up an agreement, a contract that established just and equal laws for all members of the community, irrespective of their religious beliefs. Where did the revolutionary ideas expressed in the Mayflower Compact come from? From the Bible. The Pilgrims were a people completely steeped in the lessons of the Old and New Testaments. They looked to the ancient Israelites for their example, and because of the biblical precedent set forth by Scripture, they never doubted that their experiment would work. This was no pleasure cruise, my friends. The journey to the New World was a long and arduous one, and when the Pilgrims landed in New England in November, they found, according to Bradford's detailed journal, a cold, barren, and desolate wilderness. There were no friends to greet them. There were no houses to shelter them. There were no inns where they could refresh themselves. And the sacrifice that they had made for freedom was just the beginning. During the first winter, half of the Pilgrims, including Bradford's wife, died of either starvation, sickness, or exposure. When spring finally came, Indians taught the settlers how to plant corn, fish for cod, and skin beavers for coats. Life improved for the Pilgrims, but they did not yet prosper. This is an important lesson to understand because this is where modern American history lessons often end. Thanksgiving is actually explained in some textbooks as a holiday for which the Pilgrim gave thanks to the Indians for saving their lives, rather than as a devout expression of gratitude grounded in the tradition of the Old and New Testaments. Here's the part they omitted. The original contract the Pilgrims entered into with their merchant sponsors in London called for everything they produced to go into a common store, and each member of the community was entitled to one common share. All the land that they cleared and the houses they built belonged to the community as well. Bradford, who had become the new governor of the colony, recognized this form of collectivism was as costly and destructive to the Pilgrims as that first harsh winter, which had taken so many lives. He decided to take bold action. Bradford assigned a plot of land to each family to work and manage, thus turning loose the power of the marketplace. That's right. Long before Karl Marx was even born, the Pilgrims had discovered and experimented with what could only be described as socialism. And what happened? It didn't work. Surprise, surprise, huh? What Bradford and his community found was that the most creative and industrious people had no incentive to work harder than anyone else, unless they could utilize the power of personal motivation. But while most of the rest of the world had been experimenting with socialism for well over 100 years, trying to refine it, perfect it, and reinvent it, the Pilgrims decided early on to scrap it permanently. What Bradford wrote about this social experiment should be in every school child's history lesson. If it were, we might prevent much needless suffering in the future. Quote, the experience that was had in this common course and condition tried sundry years, that by taking away property and bringing community into a commonwealth would make them happy and flourishing as if it were wiser than God, Bradford wrote. For this community, so far as it was found to breed much confusion and discontent and retard much employment that would have been to their benefit and comfort. For young men that were most able and fit for labor and service did repine that they should spend their time and strength to work for other men's wives and children without recompense, that they thought injustice. Do you hear what he's saying, ladies and gentlemen? The Pilgrims found that they could not be expected to do their best work without incentive. So what did Bradford's community try next? They unharnessed the power of good old free enterprise by invoking the undergirding capitalistic principles of private property. Every family was assigned its own plot of land to work and permitted to market its own crops and products. And what was the result? Quote, they had very good success, wrote Bradford, for it made all hands industrious. So much more corn was planted than otherwise would have been. Bradford didn't sound like much of a Clintonite, did he? Is it possible that supply side economics could have existed before the 1980s? Yes. Read the story of Joseph and Pharaoh in Genesis 41. Following Joseph's suggestion, Pharaoh reduced the tax on Egyptians to 20% during the 7 years of plenty, and the earth brought forth in heaps. In no time, the Pilgrims found they had more food than they could eat themselves, so they set up trading posts and exchanged goods with the Indians. The profits allowed them to pay off their debts to the merchants in London, and the success and prosperity of the Plymouth settlement attracted more Europeans and began what came to be known as the Great Puritan Migration. As I say, a snippet from the book, See, I Told You So, a discussion of the first Thanksgiving here in America. And folks, it is 8 o'clock at night. It's a couple of days before Thanksgiving. I want to thank all of you for being here tonight. As I said, it's going to be a nice, chill, relaxed sort of an evening. We've been talking about things that we're thankful for. I'm thankful for all of you. I'm thankful for your willingness to put up with my occasional technical faux pas. Thankful that you come here. Thankful that we hang out together. And I'm thankful for all of you as an audience and individually. You guys are one of the coolest group of people that I could ever ask to be associated with online. And I'm very proud to have you as members of my audience. So in a couple of days, get together with your family and your friends. Tell them that you love them. Tell them that you're thankful for them. Sit down together, eat all kinds of food. Have fun doing it. And remember the good things that you're blessed with. All the blessings that you have. Because that's what I'm planning on doing. I'm going to spend time with my family. The lady is in town. She's got her family with her. And it's going to be a fun week. A very fun week indeed. Now, there is no live stream on Thursday, and there is a fairly early kickoff Saturday, so no front porch brunch. Okay, so this is our one and only live stream of the week. But again, I want to thank you guys for being here tonight, and thank you for all the blessings that you provide to me. Like I said, you guys are the coolest audience that I could ever ask for, and someday this thing's going to get so big and so awesome that we're going to look back on these days and go, man, we were all there for the beginning. Anyway, you guys have a great Thanksgiving. I love you guys very much. Enjoy the time with your family and friends. We'll see you next week. And remember the words of that great American philosopher. Gobble, gobble. Bye-bye.